Hello Nitro fans, Racing 393. This is part 7 of my, I've said this many times now, my Traxxas Fortec Nitro rebuild. And we're getting as close as, actually I think I'm probably, apart from the shell, this video, this is part 7, will have a running part because the car is pretty much there. I've got a few things to do today, which is what this video is about, and at the end of the video we're going to get a running video, so it'll be basically a tuning video just to make sure it runs. I don't know whether it will get to second speed. It might not. That might need adjusting, so I'll have to wait and see, making sure it's, you know, starts, stops, turns left and right, etc., and make sure it runs smoothly. Now the only thing I've got left to do, on the last video I had shock absorbers, the droop, servo saver, and the link. And the link's on it already. It's like hardwired, isn't it? It's like, as it is, but I've now have a servo saver. I've got one of these, so that should, it's for Savox. So I'm hoping, the only problem is there's not a lot of room there, but it should be fine actually. Looking at that, it will be fine. So we've got to get the exhaust off to put this on. So that's part of the plan. The other part of the plan, which I've actually done, is the shock absorbers. Now, if you remember, the front drooped. And looking at it from there, it looks right now. So all I've done is I've had some shocks. I've got loads scattered around. I bought from like China, and they're all right. I had them on a TTO2 chassis. They were fine. They might have leaked a little bit, but I did stop them leaking by the way I built them. But they worked. Now they had like standards, like black springs that came with them. And for the TTO2, nevertheless, I felt they were a little bit on the stiff side. There's not a lot of weight there in the TTO2. Anyway, those shock absorbers, the standoff, the bottom of the piston rod, is longer than the one I had on this. So I've changed the bottom of the shock, and I've put those black springs, which were a little bit too stiff for the TTO2, but for this they're perfect. So I've changed the springs on the front. Because I had 4, I thought, well, it won't hurt, so I changed them for the back as well. I don't know if you remember, but if you look back on the videos, this spring was like chrome, and this spring was a black one that came with the kit. That was black that came with the kit, and so was that, well, the kit, you know, when I bought this. So that was really the odd one out. I think the springs were fine. I think they're a little bit stiff, but I believe that they're what Traxxas supplied. Anyway, I changed the springs to these ones I had, and it's much better. So the front's sorted out. The only thing I've got to do regarding setup is get the track, the toe, and the sort of the camber front and rear. I don't know if I'll film that. I might do. It's always interesting. What else? Nothing. Waiting for the foam. That's been posted, so that's not detrimental for testing. The only other thing now is to get this exhaust. I've got to undo it from here so I can swing it out a little bit. I can get to this servo because it's not screwed on. I can take that off. I've actually got a different arm here, so this is a slightly different one to what's on there. What I'm hoping is, I was thinking of using these because it's sort of screwed on. I don't know. I'd rather it pop off if it did hit anything than sort of push it against the servo because it could break. So the plan is to put the servo all back together. I'm also going to put between the exhaust and underneath, there is some wiring that runs underneath there, which I'll show you when I get to that point. I have got some heat resistant tape, like foil, which I'm going to line that with underneath there, because there is one of the servo wires runs under there, and I just want to hold it away from the exhaust. I don't really want it touching the exhaust. And that's about it. I mean, to be honest, once that's done, we'll put some charge through this, and then we'll take it out for a quick tune. Looking forward to it. I'm hoping don't get any problems with it. I can't see any if you get any problems, but you never know. You know what these things are like. What's this? 2003-ish. Bought from eBay. It wasn't in a particularly good or bad condition, just left. There wasn't anything wrong with the car. A few things missing, which I've now replaced, which is I've gone through on all my videos. So part 7 will be a tuning video. What I can probably then say is, providing there's nothing wrong with it, part 8 would be the installation of a body shell, paint, decals, the full works, and then take it out for a proper run. And we'll probably do a speed run at that point. So without further ado, let me just get this apart and I can show you a little bit of a close-up. So the servo horn is taken off, just a standard servo horn. This is the standard like steering arm rod, so it's all right. I mean, it would go on. I just think if I just put that one on, because I can just use these ball joints. They're not called ball joint. What are they called? They are a ball joint. Yeah, ball joint to pop on and pop on. I think it might save the servo should anything happen. So anything I've got to do, this was just set at the standard length. I'm just going to make this one the same length, and then I can show you there, look, it can just go on in there, and in there underneath there, so underneath this part, I'm going to put some like foil tape. Ideally the exhaust wants to come off, but it's kind of on there now. It does move. I'm like, it is flexible enough to move away, which is fine, but I can just get underneath there and just make sure that that wire there isn't kind of, it'll be all right, but just protect it a little bit from the exhaust heat maybe. But anyway, let me just put some of that on. I'm going to change the length of this first, and then I'll come back showing you what I've done underneath the exhaust here. So that's that done. Servo saver on, lovely. Ball jointed, and those snap-on ball joint ends, and the sort of the steering arm is roughly where it needs to be set. It's not perfect. I'll do a quick setup, but yeah, that went on for once really well. So just some silver tape to put on, which I'll do and show you I've done it, and then we'll put the exhaust back on. It's probably quite difficult to see, but I put some protective like aluminium stuff on the bottom of the chassis, but I have I must have moved it. I don't know if you can see it underneath. Can you see that? It's sort of where the wire is. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see it from the camera, but anyway, let's put the exhaust back on. We're pretty much done. It's all gone together very well, I have to say. I'm very pleased with this. I'm just going to do some quick, I've got my other setup gauge here that I'm going to use. I'm not going to use a digital one. I'm just going to sort of set up the casters and the cambers on the front and rear. And then when I've done that, I'm going to get the transmitter switched on, just to make sure that the steering servo is trimmed. I'm going to charge this battery and we'll go and take it out. I don't envisage using a whole tank of fuel, but we'll see first. I'll probably start it here and then start it when I get where I'm going, because just in case, you never know. I mean, it did start relatively easy, didn't it, when I started it, but you know, it has been sat after I've run it, so you never know. Anyway, let me just go through some of this adjustment. So you can see here that, I don't know if you can see there actually, the wheel, I don't think it is quite pointing in. You can make out for yourself what I'm going to do with that. So yeah, I think they do need adjusting. I think the back's okay actually. The toe-in sort of set with the bottom arm. I'll check the camber on the rear and adjust on that top link just to make sure it's equal basically. No other reason other than the fact so I know it's pointing straight. Right, let me I'll do that. It's going to be a bit fiddly. I'll get my hands in the way. There's not a lot you can see here, so I'll show you what I've done if you can see the difference. There we have it. We're pretty much done. I probably said that nearly every bloody part, haven't I, from part one, but we really are this time. I've tracked it. I've trimmed this, my transmitter. It's all pretty good. All I need to do now is charge this battery up, charge a glow starter up, dig a spare glow plug out, get a fuel can, and we're away. Looks quite good. I'll show you a close-up of what I finally got round to. So, see, all the front suspension geometry looks done. Exhaust, I've just put a little like some tape around that because hey, why not? The steering arm, fantastic. Perhaps it's not as meaty as the standard Traxxas one, but it doesn't need to be. But that all works. That's good. The back's all done. Didn't do much at the back actually, if I'm honest. I've got some filter element oil. That's all in there now, been primed. So that's good. That's all ready to go. Yeah, so it's just the foam. Well, that will come soon. A shell, paint, and then it can go out for its final run. But this time, in this video, we're going to take this out and give it a bit of a tune to see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, it is quite nice out at the moment, but I just need to make sure just a few things are charged up. So next time you see me, we'll be outside for real this time. So I'll see you outside in a Dewberry. Just walking to where I need to go now. Nice day. Yeah. It's quite a mission, carrying all my gear. But, yeah. You can see, but yeah, nearly there. Got my backpack on, as you can see, starter box. We'll see if we can get this Traxxas running, to be honest. Perfect. There's the view. You don't get a lot of people around, but be careful of the animals, dogs. Whew. Anyway, see you inside. Right. Let's see if this starts. Put some fuel in it first. as I got it tuned, while I film that, someone's got their armour. Just letting it cool down a minute. There's kids and dogs all down there, so but someone's got their armour going round, which you might be able to see. We give it another go. Maybe try a little bit weaker. Let's see if we can get it running. Still plenty of smoke. And we're done. That was really good. It's probably running still a little bit too rich, but yeah, it's running hot as well. So 200 and, well, the exhaust 286 Fahrenheit, I think it was. It's a lot, but that was good. I'll let it cool down, and we'll call that a success. Just a bit more tuning probably. But yeah, it's still hot. I've got to let it cool down before I put it into the bag. Give it a wipe down. But anyway, we'll have a little bit of a debrief when we get back. It was successful. That was good. I think initially, I think it was running, don't know, maybe a bit too rich. It takes minute adjustments on that carburetor for it to make a difference, but yeah, that was good. Second gear change as well, so makes a mess. You forget how messy Nitro is, but that's part of it, isn't it? It's not certainly not all about speed, but it's just the driving of a Nitro. And it's bodyshell time now. We'll look into that on another video when I do that, but yeah, it didn't seem to leak. It was running as hot as I expected it to run, but yeah, anyway, Hope you enjoyed it. Big build up. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.